Hello everyone, Daniel here again, and you know that subscriber Horizon vid that I put up? Well, of course you do. It's got more views than pretty much any PBRXD vid that I've put up recently. Well, it's come to my attention that people don't seem able to argue points properly, so I thought rather than just constantly shout at them, I thought it would be best if I try and make a vid explaining how to argue a point properly. Now, I will first off say with a disclaimer, I am not the equivalent god of arguing. I probably do make mistakes in what I say, but you know, in general I've got the common sense aspect that you need to be able to argue properly. Now, I want to try and describe it in 6 points really. I'd just like to say there probably are more points to it than this, but these are 6 general points that will try and help you argue in a proper way that doesn't involve in a mass brawl of nuisance and nonsense. First point, don't spam your point. If you put it in millions of places in the same way a spam bot does, that really does not aid your case, because you're probably still putting down the same wrong point anyway, or the same badly constructed point. Putting your one point everywhere may mean more people notice it, but that does not mean more people will acknowledge it or believe it's the right answer. Point 2. To actually have a point. If what you're saying is a load of dribble and bullshit, regardless of how well you present it or how many places you put it, it still won't get acknowledged as a good comment because frankly there's no content to it. I mean, the typical example to this is the console wars, inverted commas, that always crop up, where it ends up with fanboys from all 3 sides saying, yeah, well, this is in effect anyway, yeah, this console's the best because I like it more. And that you know, when you've got 3 different types of people, usually it's Wii, 360, PS3, and all the fanboys are saying exactly the same things without actually any proof at all, it does turn into a mass melee of bullshit. And without having to point out the obvious here, but I'm going to have to anyway, that's not how an argument should go. An argument should be someone puts down a comment with a case and a point and some evidence, and then the other people that may not agree put down something that may contradict or, you know, counter what you've put down. Moving on, because I want to try and get this done within 10 minutes, because if need be I could have waffled about this for hours on end, but I can't due to time limits. Point 3 is the capitals and letters spam. Capital letters have their uses. I can accept this, I use them myself. They begin sentences, and you can also use them to emphasize the odd word or two. If you have your whole document or answer or response all in capitals, you have not got grasped the point. Having it all in capitals makes it all, you know, stand out within itself, which means it doesn't actually stand out at all. Also, capital spamming, as I'll mention later in point 6, does have another problem attached. I'm also going to mention it a little bit in point 4 as well. Point 4, TLDR. If you don't know what that stands for, it means too long didn't read, and it sort of relates a bit to point 3. Putting capital letters into everything makes a document and response bigger, and the average person on YouTube cannot be bothered to read really long arguments or cases, so you need to try and make it relatively short and snappy. By putting it all in capitals, you're lengthening it without actually adding any more content, so odds are people aren't going to read it all, or there might be bits and pieces and then you get the wrong response. Point 5 is overdoing your response. Answering a point is all well and good, but you got to remember at the end of the day you're only on the internet. Odds are you're not going to meet the person you're talking to, so that does not mean you've got, unless it's an unbelievably stupid comment or it's a first comment, which is really frustrating on vids, because every vid you put up someone has to do it. By the way, if you do put a first comment on this vid, I will block you, just to make the casing point. But back to overdoing your response. If it is a trivial stupid comment like this, there is no need to with your acidic tongue slate them into submission. I mean, it might be funny, but it's actually not very clever, because all it's showing is you're stooping down to their level to have a go at them for being thick. I mean, what else is there to gain from it? I mean, you don't exactly win prizes for being very, very aggressive on YouTube. You might get banned. Haha, that'd be funny. Alright, point 6, DLDL. I think a good example of this would be, and I've used him again as an example because he does make a very good example, is C-Dub with his background, where people were complaining that it was, it showed too much of women in their anime form and their private areas. Even though, frankly, if you complain of this, you are a wuss and a pillock. Right, DLDL, if you really don't like a comment, you actually don't have to respond to it. I mean, let's put it this way. If it's your vid and someone's put something you don't like, at the end of the day, you can just delete it or block them. Or both. Both works quite often. I mean, it's not my style. I tend to just respond back in a clever and witty way, or something along those lines, because I don't like blocking people. Really. It's not my cup of tea. Haha, English stereotype pun. Anyway, back to the point here. If you don't like a comment, you don't have to respond to it. I mean, just ignore it. I mean, if it's not directed specifically at you, then there's no reason for you to have to answer it at all. I mean, like I said, if you don't like it, ignore it, pretend it's not there, never go to that page ever again. Well, that's something that I'm just going to go ever so slightly off topic, because it's something that annoys me ever so slightly, just want to talk about, and not rant. I'm not ranting anyway. Is people that 1-star vids. Why are you watching a vid that you know you won't like? This is not the case for all people that 1-star vids, I'll point out, but this is specifically one type of the 1-star band. Why would you watch a vid that you know you aren't going to like or approve of? I mean, it makes no sense at all, because by rating it 1 star, all you're doing is proving that you're wasting your own time. You're wasting your own time, and people are gonna, if it's a good vid, 5-star it anyway, and then you'll get wiped out, and the 5 stars will prevail, which seemingly at the moment's been how it's been for my vids, because some pillock is going around 1-starring it all. Not that I'm overly arsed, it's just a slight pain, because I like to think, and you can comment on this, that my vids are of a relatively high quality, which, to be honest, should be what the star rating's all about. It means that if you've got a vid where the sound is just unbelievably bad that you can't hear it, things like that should be marked slightly lower. Anyway, I can't believe it's got to 8 minutes already. I mean, I made this short and snappy. I even put what I was going to mention in a notepad file to make sure I didn't go off on a tangent, and it still go for 8 minutes, so I won't bore you any further. I mean, I'm getting bored of listening to myself already, so I'll speak to you all soon. You can comment, just not in a gay ass way. It's like, you're wrong, and then leaving it like that, because that's not the right way to respond, as I've just mentioned. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later. Please comment, rate, subscribe, but especially comment in this case, because it's kind of on topic. Anyway, I'll speak to you all later.